What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and we are back. Finally. Um, I'm aware that today is not the first preseason game that Chelsea have had, but it's back. We finally get to watch them again. That's the exciting part. So, the first game I actually didn't get to see. It was against Rapid Vienna, lost 2-0. I was busy doing stuff, so I didn't get to watch it. It was only on Chelsea TV, which is where I watched the game today. So I can't really say much about it, but what I will say is that according to my dad, there are a few standout performers. Chaloba was one, Willian and Moses were two others, and then he said Kennedy didn't get to play much but did well. And then he said the standout bad performers were, of course, Mikel. Djilabadji and Ivanovic both had pretty poor games and were both sort of responsible for the two goals. And then Begovic was just really bad. And then the other one that he mentioned was Loftus-Cheek was just sort of non-existent, which he's not a big fan of Loftus-Cheek. I still have a bit of hope for him. My biggest concern is just his lack of effort at times. So, based on what he said, it sounded like it's sort of getting all of the stuff working, getting Conte sort of getting his side really focused and finding out what works best, which is very hard considering the fact that, we don't have our full squad. A lot of the people from the Euros are not there. Hazard's not in, Courtois' not in, Fabregas isn't in, Spilicueta isn't in, so we're still missing a lot of first-team players. 2-0 loss, Rapid Vienna, not good, obviously, but also not a terrible thing. From what I heard, their second half performance was pretty good. Today, though, was definitely a much better day. I mean, even the first 5 minutes, my dad said this is much better because against Rapid Vienna, they were constantly under pressure. Today, much more in control of the game. They just really took the game to them. It was against RZ Pellets or Wolfsburger AC. I looked up their name on Wikipedia. It's just way too long for me to even try and pronounce right now. But, not necessarily a side that is difficult, but still a side that is playing right now. Their whole schedule is different than ours, so they are in season right now. So they're actually in good fitness. A lot of these players are not. And that's a lot of what I expect to see out of these games. I expect to see players getting into better fitness, getting into better form, working together a lot better, and I did. I saw that a lot today. It was, 3-0 win is also obviously a good result, but overall the performance was very good. It was just nice to see a lot of good performers today. So let's get into it, person by person. First of all, Begovic in goal for the whole game. Did okay. Didn't really have any top drawer saves to make. Wasn't really challenged a whole lot, but he was serviceable. From what I hear, though, we're looking at possibly getting another goalkeeper as backup, so he may be out soon. But today he did okay. Right back, first half was Ivanovic. He got subbed at halftime, possibly because he was on a yellow. I personally think he's really struggling. Obviously had a really poor season last season. Today I didn't see much that made me think, oh yeah, he's back. He's back to that fullback that we had 2 years ago. I didn't see that today. I didn't see him doing very well. So it may be to a point where we really need to consider slowly pushing him out. Center backs, Terry and Djilabadji again. Terry, he always does well, but today he really stepped up as far as his leadership. It really seemed like he was controlling that back line. He was really holding them down. So it's nice to see that even though he is getting up there in age, he can't do it physically as much anymore. He's still holding his own for now, so that's good to see because we really do need a leader like him in the team. Djilabadji, I don't see much from him. I don't see much from him defensively. I see him losing track of his man. I see him sometimes not winning a header where he should be. I don't know. I don't know why we bought him, first of all. I think it was just sort of a backup because we didn't get Stones last year. But even now, I mean, I don't know what our options are as far as center backs. We have two young center backs, Hector and Miazga. I would prefer to see one of them back there because from what I see from Gilabaji, it's not that good. So hopefully, maybe he'll pick it up. Maybe as he starts to get integrated into the team, maybe he'll change. Maybe he'll be sold. Who knows? But today I didn't see a whole lot from him that impressed me. Not that he had a terrible game, but there were a few moments where mistakes were made, and if it was a better team, they would have capitalized and scored. And then Ola Aina on the left, who moved to right in the second half. I I was excited watching him. Defensively he did well. He didn't do any. He didn't have any like crazy amazing tackles. But I tell you what, he can move the ball well. He has very quick feet, much quicker than Baba Rahman, which makes me wonder why we didn't play him over Baba last season. Maybe he was out on loan. But he looked really good. He looked quick. He has quick feet. He moves the ball very well. He hits in a good cross. I'm excited to see more of Aina because he seems like he's a good young player. I'm pretty sure he's 19 or 20, so younger than Baba. And he played both sides. He played left and right, so that means he can play both sides of the fullback position. So very good to see. Had a good game, I thought, and I'm pretty sure he played the full 90 minutes too. So that's always nice to see a young player getting full 90. Up in the midfield, we actually went with a 4-4-2 today, which I think they did on Saturday too. But today, in the midfield, it was Oscar and Matic, which I didn't mind seeing. I kind of like that thought of partnership of we have a defensive mid and then we have a bit more of an attacking mid together. It worked out pretty well. Matic did very well defensively. Oscar does his defensive bit too, but Oscar was more of an attacking role today. Unfortunately, though, I still don't see much from Oscar. And it's been kind of a complaint from a lot of Chelsea fans that he's just sort of fizzled, and he has. He really hasn't done much for us. He hasn't done much overall. And today, he made a few good passes. He made a few good runs here and there. And like I said, he probably does his defensive duty better than most of the other attacking mids. But he's just not good enough to be in the team right now. Like, I'd rather have Fabregas in there over Oscar. I'd rather have Oscar in there over Mikel, of course, but I can't think of a moment where I was like, that's why Oscar's in the team. He didn't really have any of those moments today, so a fairly average game from him. On the wings, Willian and Moses again, and once again tore it up the entire game. Moses is one that, and they were talking about this too on Chelsea TV, he's always a player that does well in preseason and always ends up getting loaned out. I would prefer to see us keep him this time because he's really doing well. I'm watching him thinking he could be a great winger for us this season. Maybe not, he's obviously not Willian quality or Hazard quality, but I mean, he's a good player. He's quick, he's strong, and he has a good pass on him too. And he works hard. So I'd like to see us try to hold on to him, try to integrate him into the team, get him going because I don't want to see him loaned out again. I don't want to see him not make it to the team after doing so well these first two games. He just works really hard. Willian, I don't know how he does it, but it feels like he played almost the full 90 today. It feels like he could go out tomorrow and play a full 90. It's so funny because I'm sitting there watching him work hard, and later on in the second half, he's still working fairly hard, but he's slowing down a bit. I'm like, William's getting tired. We need to get him subbed off. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he does a quick little pullback. Defender's coming, Maradona around him, and he's just gone to the other side of the field. I'm just like, where does that come from? Where does he get that energy just out of nowhere? Oh, he's slowing down a little bit. He's gone. Where did he go? It's so funny to watch, but it really defines who Willian is as a player. He's very fast. He works hard. He can work hard for a full game. And it's nice to see him pick that back up because near the end of last season he sort of dropped off. So it's nice to see that he's picking back up right where he left off halfway through. And I can't wait to see what else he's going to do this season. Then finally up top we have Traore and Costa. Both played, I think, about 70 minutes before they got subbed off. Or no, it was 60. They got subbed off early in the second half. They played fairly well. Traore, I think, had the better game of the two. He really works hard for the team. He looks to move the ball around a lot. Costa, not that he did bad, but he was just kind of there for most of the game. He didn't really make a whole lot of challenges. He wasn't that hardworking striker that I've come to expect out of him. Whenever I think of Costa at his best, I think of him chasing down defenders to win that ball back. I think of him working hard to hold up the ball as defenders are like just trying to tackle him. I didn't see that today. I didn't see much of that, if any of that. All I really saw was just him making some runs, him working back, trying to move the ball around a bit. Anybody can do that. Loftus-Cheek went out there and did about that much. And, I don't know. I guess I expect more out of Costa. So I'd love to see him really start to try to work hard. Really start to work harder. I know there's been a lot of talk about him going back to Atletico. I would love to see us keep him because, frankly, there aren't that many great strikers that we can go out and get right now. And he is one of the greats when he's playing well. So I'd prefer to see Conte really try to get into his head, try to get him to play at his best because we need him to go score us a ton of goals. We need that up top. So not a terrible game, but just fairly average, especially for Costa. Now, moving on to the second half, we had a few subs. Baba Robin came on at halftime for Ivanovic. Once again, I'm not impressed with him. I think he can grow, but from what I see right now, he's just not good enough to be in the first team picture. Attacking wise, he has a few good moments here and there. He has a few good crosses, but defensively, he's just not that good. He's not that strong. He has speed, but he hardly uses it effectively. So I want to see more out of him for sure. But at the same time, if it comes at the cost of not playing some of your better players, I just don't see the point of it. Maybe get him out on loan, see if he can grow elsewhere. But for right now, for what we have, he's just not good enough. I'd rather go out and get Bertrand back or something like that. So then up top, Loftus-Cheek and Batshuayi came on. I'm going to call him Mitchie just because it's so much easier to say. But first game for Chelsea, preseason game. Exciting to see him get some game time. Good 30 minutes too, so it's not like he just came on the last second of the game for his first game. He actually did get a good time to play and worked hard. From what I saw, you could see his legs are still a little bit in recovery mode. Because there were moments where it's like, why couldn't you get to that? Where's your speed? So you could tell he's still sort of trying to find his legs in the team. It's a bit different than playing for Belgium, so I'm excited to see him get better, as we progress. But for today, for what I expect out of him today, I thought he did well. Loftus-Cheek, once again, he did get himself a goal, which was nice. But I want to see more of what he did for that goal. He great little breaking in run, went in, challenged for the header. Keeper should have done better, but it's nice to see him making that run, challenging for the ball. I don't see enough of that, though. I don't see enough of that out of him. He just doesn't work hard for the team. He's just sort of I'm going to work hard when I want to work hard. And you can't have that mindset. In the Premier League, you can't have that mindset of I'm only going to work hard when I want to, or else all of a sudden you're Yaya Toure getting criticized because Man City did so terrible and he's part of the cause. He only worked hard certain games, didn't work hard the entire season. So, then on the wing, Atsu came in for, I think, Willian. Gave him a break later on. Chalobah came on fairly late for Oscar. Got some good time, which was nice. Atsu kind of there. He had one good run, but nothing spectacular. I know he is sort of recovering from an injury because he had a bad one last year when he was on loan at Bournemouth, but he was a player who kind of came in. It was exciting at first because he was young and was extremely fast, but then he went out on loan and then just never really did much. So kind of not really sure what's going to happen with him, but did okay. Then Chalobah, I thought from what I saw, I thought he did well. Defensively, he knows where to position himself to win interceptions and stuff like that. His goal was really well done. Nice little change of pace, cuts inside, beats a defender, acts like he's about to shoot. Defender steps, and then he just little push past him and finds the back post. So I'm excited to see where that is because honestly, later on, who else came on? Kennedy came on. Kennedy came on for Moses. McKell came on for Matic. Miazga came on for Terry. And Hector came on for Gilabaji, which I can't remember exactly when he came on. I think it was with Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Batshuayi. But he looked okay. I didn't see anything spectacular, but I thought he looked sure of himself. I know he's fairly young. I want to say he's 20. So he looked very sure of himself for being so young. So that's nice to see because right now defensively, what we've got is Terry and then Zuma still recovering from injury. So I would like to see some of these young defenders like Hector, like Miazga, like Aina. I would like to see them get a chance in the team to show what they can do so that just in case we can't get any players in the transfer market, any defenders this transfer market, I want to know that we have a good backup. So we have somebody back there who knows what they're doing, who's not going to go out there and just be intimidated. That's one of the things that I enjoyed watching Miazga play, even though he didn't get to play much. He looked sure of himself. He looked like he knew what he was doing. He looked like he was ready to put in a challenge. I thought he did well. So Hector, I thought the same thing today. I thought he looked sure of himself. He looked like he knew what he was doing, so that's very good to see. And then Kennedy, he didn't have much of a chance to do anything, but I want to see more of Kennedy because I think he can be one of our star players. I think he looks really. First of all, he's really fast. He's got good strength, and he can send in a ball too. So I'd like to get to see more of him as we progress in the preseason. But I think the biggest thing to take away from this is the fact that I'm pretty sure McKell is going to be sold soon. I know that sounds really harsh. I know a lot of people who think McKell's a great servant to the club are going to hate me for this, but I'm just watching. And honestly, I can't pick out anything really poor that he did, but the one moment that I remember from him after he came on, he picks up the ball in the middle of the field and then just sits there on the ball for about, 5 to 10 seconds, something like that, just holding up the ball as these defenders try to close him, and then finally passes the ball off backwards to Baba or somebody like that. And I'm just like, really? Obviously we're up 2-0, so we don't have to go score, but it's preseason. Why? I don't know if he did it on purpose or if his touch is that gone to where he couldn't do anything better than just hold up the ball. But I'm watching that, and then literally 20 seconds later, Chalobah picks up the ball, quick turn, and he's just breaking towards the box and then finds a great pass to, I think, Michi. I'm just like, that's the difference. I'm going to talk about Conte a bit more, N'Golo Conte coming in. I'm going to talk about him a bit more at the end of the July review. But the fact that he's coming in was already kind of like, okay, Mikel's probably going to go out now because we've already got Matic and Fabregas above him. Now we've got Conte. I'm watching Chalobah and I'm like, Chalobah is a better option than he is right now. So it just kind of goes to show that I think he's probably, if he's not heading to the exit door, he's going to end up in the reserves for the entire season. And I don't think he wants that. I can't imagine that he would want that. So, I don't know, it's just very interesting to see sort of like the difference in Mikel and how he plays, very slow, and then watching Chalobah and, even Loftus-Cheek plays faster than he does. So, overall, very good result. Good performance to go with it, too. Don't play again until next Thursday against Liverpool over in California. And then next Saturday, I'm going to be in Michigan watching the Real Madrid game, so it's exciting for me. But yeah, it's exciting to see that we are sort of getting our foothold. This is not our entire first team, but some of the youngsters are getting a chance to shine. They are getting a chance to show what they can do. So whenever those first team players do come back, hopefully we get even better integration into the first team. And of course, transfer market's still open, so always a chance to go buy somebody else. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what goes on. But as for today, I'm excited to see where the season is going. Especially, mainly, my biggest happiness is that we're playing a different system entirely. No more 4-2-3-1. It's now 4-4-2. It's a different thing. It's a different system. That's really exciting. We haven't had that for the past 4 or 5 years now. We've been playing a 4-2-3-1. Now we're back to a 4-4-2. Awesome. Let's see where it goes. So, those are my thoughts on the game. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If there's anything I didn't talk about that you would like to talk about, let me know. We can discuss it. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea reviews, and I'll see you at the next game. Peace out.